This video is sponsored by Blade & Soul. After watching the video, if you think you might enjoy Blade & Soul, you can download and play the game for free by clicking on the link in the description below. Yeah, we're back. If you don't remember, a few months ago I took a rather short second look at Blade & Soul. Seeing as I didn't manage to get very far, I mentioned that I'd like to get a bit further along so I could experience a bit more of the game. So when the people at Blade & Soul asked me to take a look at the new Warden class, I figured now is as good a time as any. I mean, I might as well get paid for something I was going to do anyway. Thanks, guys. Now, since I'm going to be taking a look at the Warden, I'm going to go ahead and start over. Though I'm just going to go ahead and skip everything I've already covered, meaning we're going to pick it up around level 18. Now, I was offered the opportunity to boost my character straight to level 50 and skip the early game, but I decided against that as I wanted to learn my class the good old-fashioned way, rather than trying to learn everything on the fly. It seemed like the smart choice at the time, but upon learning that there's a training room that teaches you the basics of your class, I realized that I should have taken them up on that offer. Also that I'm an idiot. But that's nothing new. So we're creating our character. Now the Warden is a two-handed greatsword tank class, and if popular media is to be believed, there are three kinds of people who use this type of weapon. Tiny girls, who shouldn't even be able to lift that sword, skinny guys, who shouldn't even be able to lift that sword, and hulking behemoths, who aren't physically possible without a truckload of steroids. I may have gone a bit overboard. I can't even scroll up to see his head. I find this way funnier than I probably should. She doesn't even come up to my navel. One of the things I learned in my last video, from some extremely nice and super polite YouTube comments, which is an oxymoron, was that while out questing, I should skip all of the side quests and stick to the yellow epic quest, as these would level me up as quickly as possible. So that's what I did, and sure enough, it worked out pretty well. For once, YouTube comments actually made a difference. In my previous time with the game, I stuck with the Kung Fu Master, and I thought he was pretty powerful. Now, I don't know if I'm just crazy or what, but I think the Warden class is really strong. One swing and everything's dead. Talk about some cleave damage. Although I will say that I found things didn't die as quickly the higher level I got. Though I guess this is probably because I was skipping all the side quests and was a bit more of level. In fact, later on in my playtime, I came across a dungeon that stated I probably shouldn't be doing this solo. Assuming I knew better, I went for it anyway. And yeah, I died. That was a first. So I guess there really is a challenge to be had here if you're looking for it. For a tank class, I found the Warden to have some really interesting mechanics. I noticed that even though I was killing things in pretty much one hit, I kept losing health. I wasn't sure how I was losing health, I mean, nothing was hitting me. I couldn't figure it out, so as a last resort, I finally decided to read up on my skills. Reading is always a last resort. Turns out, under the Warden's lightning spec, the majority of your skills cause you to lose health, while others will leech health from enemies. I think that's a pretty cool concept for a tank class. It allows you to actually do some DPS, but at a cost, while also providing some self-heals. In addition to that, I had a few dodge abilities and a block that could then riposte if timed properly. My favorite skill though is when my character breaks all the laws of physics and does a flip of death with his sword. And I know I'm getting a bit picky about the laws of physics in a game where you can basically fly, but this amuses me. Now this is only one of the Warden's specs. Lightning seems to be more about damage, while the Frost spec tends to be more about defense and control, likely making it a bit better for tanking I suppose, but I wouldn't really know. And both specs have a frenzy type of mechanic that you can activate after building up enough power. But unfortunately, it seems like I never got high enough level to use it. Turns out you unlock this at level 35, and I got to level 32. So close! I've always found Blade & Soul's action combat to be very fluid, and the Warden is really no exception. After you get used to the key bindings, you can look and feel like a force of nature. Unless you're me. Then you just kinda look like an oversized doofus. The longer you play and the more skills you unlock, the better it gets. If you learn a proper rotation, you could probably do some wicked combos. I do think that leveling up the long way was probably the best move for me, so that I wasn't overwhelmed with skills because there are quite a few. Due to my lack of playtime in previous episodes, something I hadn't experienced in Blade & Soul yet was the other movement skills. Yeah, we've talked about gliding, but there's also running on water, air dashing, which looks a lot funnier than it sounds. Come on, you can do it! Run on that air, big man! And of course, dragon pulses. Yeah, if this was real, I'd just be vomiting everywhere. So the majority of my time with the Warden was spent questing. As my super nice comments mentioned, just doing the epic quest did increase my enjoyment of questing. I even found myself getting into the story a bit this go around. I kept finding it inadvertently hilarious. And I'm gonna try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. I think her opacity meter is broken.
I'll take you to Jadestone. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
sure. What's that?
Yeah, right, like I'm gonna fall for that. Oh. Oh, crap. Heads up! Dude, I told you heads up. You have no one to blame but yourself. What am I supposed to be looking at? Is it over here? Or over here? Nope. What the? Oh, that can't be good. Oh, that's not good.
It's been a week already.
Since when has his divination ever been right? Let's just go.
The divination is accurate. The one will come soon. I know it.
Madam, you've been saying that for a week now.
Just wait. The prophecy is true. There will come a warrior, inflicted with a scar of the Black Rose.
Another dead end.
Please, wait! The divination!
Enough! This is pointless. We waited a whole week on this. Is some hero going to fall out of the sky now?
Oh, did I miss my cue? And of course, what would a Blade and Soul video be without PvP? And I still suck. Ugh. This was about all the time I had for this go-around, but I managed to work my way up into the 30s, fought a world boss or whatever this is, which happened to drop an item for some nice loot, so that's kinda cool. And I got a good feel for the questing portion of the game. The thing that sticks with me the most about all of this is what my wife Wibble said while I was playing, which was, "It seems like you're enjoying yourself." And you know what? I think she might be right. Yeah, I said it, don't get used to it, Wibbles. Once again, I need to mention that this video is sponsored by Blade and Soul. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you feel like trying out the game, you can download it for free and try out the new Warden class for free by clicking on the link in the description below. Cool? Cool. Okay, bye. And that was Blade and Soul. Third time's a charm, right? If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button for future videos. I also put up my last video on Blade and Soul right up here. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or Twitch for my weekly live streams. And if you really want to help the channel, you can donate to me on Patreon like these other amazing people. I bet they're all hulking behemoths.